Alright boys, it's Memorial Day 2025. Now this video is primarily going to be about the Deus with the HF2 coil, okay? I have a competitor's unit out here with an M8 coil though. I'm gonna show it a little bit here first. Alright, people have choices. They buy what they want, they use what they want, they run it the way they want. I'm not telling you how to run your machine, I just want to show you something here, you know. Not a lot of video is out there on that coil as far as its behavior on specific setups. And I may have posted the first video in the world comparing this machine and this coil to that detector and that coil. How about that shit? The hick from the sticks, boys. We're in all-terrain low conductors. You see that nickel by that colonial nail? That's the hard way we're going to be sweeping this baby. We may turn on it some, okay? Could what I show you using this detector and this detector, could you see this in the wild? Maybe. I'll use that word. All-terrain low conductors will vary the speed. There's no discrimination. Upper ferrous limits number 5. Could you use this machine with this coil and a high iron sided upper ferrous limits number 5? Well, I can't. Alright. I can't. But I'm going to show that. Meaning that's less iron rejection that is tolerable for a high iron sight with this machine. In my opinion, you gotta have your own opinion. No stabilizer. Alright? Long press noise cancel. That's what's happening. She's locked up on channel 7. That's good. You see the mode there, right? Speed number 8. Upper ferrous limits number 5. One region, all tones. I will rotate over here so you can hear this nickel. You hear that. The speaker's maxed on this machine. Speed 8. Cheating the call. From about an inch above. There's 2 inches. Over the center of that nail and nickel. The nickel under the center of the call, nothing. I'll mash the horseshoe button. Speed 7. Cheating the call. I'm 2 inches out there. I'm cheating that call, sweeping. Upper ferrous limits number 5. Speed 6. I'm cheating the call. I'm about 2.5 inches, 2 inches over that nickel. I'm dead center over that nickel. Speed 5. We won't go any lower. You hear that? Now that's upper ferrous limits number 5. If we go to 6, that doesn't change anything. It would. You would expect to be worse, but you can't get worse than worse, can you? Alright. Most people may run this machine right there in a high iron sight, okay? Or maybe there, or maybe there. Probably not there, and certainly not there. Now, sports fields and stuff, where you would be on an isolated nail or two, it might be tolerable, okay? So I'm going to turn this machine off. That nickel and that colonial nail are not moving, okay? I'm not even going to turn the camera off. Now, you know, there's a lot of, you'll hear this comment, okay? Oh, these settings on this Deus 2, going from that 9-inch coil right there, or even perhaps the 11 fast multi-frequency, oh, they all carry over to that coil, that HF2 coil. Oh yeah, the settings may carry over, but the behavior of that machine changes. Meaning you may run a silencer 1 on that machine at a certain disc level in a high iron sight. Does that mean you can do it with this coil? What's the answer to that question? Based on my actual use of the machine, that's false. The settings carry over, but the behavior of the machine changes. And we even seen this with the Deus 1 with the high frequency coil, both the 9 and the elliptical high frequency coil. You had to raise the disc in a high iron sight, running the mid band on those coils versus the low frequency coils. Why? Because the frequency changed. So be careful what you hear out there and lend credence to, okay? Either A, they forgot if they ran these calls, or B, they're just making shit up as they go along, okay? I'm not doing that for you, all right? Again, you may find what I show in this video helpful if you decide to buy this coil. We're going to be looking at silencer mainly, okay? She's firing up. Let this auto scan get done. It is in manual frequency scan. All right, she's fired up. We'll look at sensitive FT first, okay? Now it's defaulted to silencer 3. All right? I'm in the 29 kilohertz band. We'll leave it at, we may change the speed. It's currently at 3. Now remember, I looked at that machine over there in 5, 6, 7, and 8 over this nickel and this colonial nail the hard way. I'm going to dial the offset up to 10. Alright? So now we're at silencer 3 and we sweep over this. "29 kilohertz band," I would suspect, just based on the behavior of this machine. How about that? See that? 29 kilohertz. So we don't see anything more on this machine at 29 on that test than we did that one with the M8 coil, correct? Silencer 3. I'm changing frequency. Now I'm at the 53 band. You hear that? Straight over that nickel. Now I'm going to turn iron tit off. It defaults on when you turn the machine on in a factory program. You hear that? Now I'm cheating the coil out here a little bit. I've got a 30 in the meter and I've got audio. That's about 3 inches over that. But we didn't hear that with that machine, did we? All right, now I'm coming up to 89 in the band. I'm still at silencer 3. You hear that? Now, if I take that nickel out of there, we're not going to hear anything but iron tone. I may take it out at the end, okay? So now I'm going to change the speed to 2.5. "29 band. We're dead in the water. You see that iron tone? Now I just changed the frequency to 53. You hear that? I've got 25 in the meter. All right, 89 kilohertz band. So I've got signal. Let's go to fast program. Now I'm going to put the silencer on it to 3. Here's 53 max band. Cheating the coil out here, I'm seeing 36 in the meter. Okay, now if I rotate, we get to hear it even better with a higher ID. 29 kilohertz band, silencer 3, speed 3. Notice we don't get anything, even cheating a call. 89 kilohertz band. All right. Now we'll go back to sensitive FT. All right. You heard silencer 3. I'll go back down here. Frequency max 53. Straight over that nickel, you hear that. That's straight over that nickel. Now we'll reduce the speed on this to 2 now. This is sensitive FT speed 2. Cheating the coil a little bit, meaning moving it back on me a little. I've got 39 in the meter. Now if I rotate a little bit over here, it cleans up. You don't hear that iron signature in that signal. Alright. We'll go back to speed 2.5. Now I've raised the silencer to 4. What happens? You hear that? So that's how this machine is behaving. I've got 25 in the meter, 29 in the meter, silencer 4. Alright. Now I've took the nickel out of there. Alright. That's silencer 4. Silencer 3. So you see what I'm saying? Everybody's been running these coils. And some people may have it in their head, oh, I have to run this coil like I run this coil to get better performance. Well, if I put that coil, 9-inch coil on this detector and do what I just did in this video, with the silencer levels I showed with this machine, you know what's going to happen? Take a guess. You are SOL the hard way on that colonial nail. I'm going to put this nickel back in here. That's about where it was. All right. Silencer 3, speed 2. That's 6 inches of coil height. You hear that? 6 inches. Straight over the top of that nickel. I've got 41, 39 in that meter. Alright. Now the nickel's coming back out. Now this is on top of the ground. Now I'm 6 inches over the nail. Now I'm down close. Silencer 3. Now this disc in this video remained at 6.8. Alright. We're going to put the nickel back in there. Now we're 6.8 disc silencer 3. That's about 4 inches over that. Now just for gee whiz, here's 7.5 disc. We still hear it. 8. We still hear it. 8.5. We still hear that nickel in there, don't we? With a 43 ID, 34 ID. See that? 37. Now, ID and error. If we cross it over here, though, we see a 63. And that may be slightly in error, too, because that nail is still bothering that nickel a little bit. This machine, okay? That is going to conclude the video. I hope you enjoyed.